Welcome to Namgongo Secondary and Vocational School. My name is Teacher Ilakut Emmanuel. Today, we want to handle a topic from paper 1, and that is functional writing. As you all know, functional writing is all about things that we do day to day or on daily basis. We do meet, or we do have meetings, and we do record minutes. So in this topic, we want to see how do we handle minute writing. First, let us look at the objectives of this particular topic. We want to define minutes of a meeting. 2, we want to explain the purpose, procedures of a meeting. 3, we want to explain the structure, format of writing minutes of a meeting, and then lastly, we shall have a sample of minutes of a meeting. Let's go ahead. Minutes of a meeting. How would we define, or what would we have to say? We just say minutes are records of proceedings in a meeting. When we go out to meet and we are gathered, we shall have to take record. Record sometimes could be something that is written, or sometimes it could be something that is recorded in some sort of audio. Okay, so we say records of proceedings in a meeting. How do we explain the purpose or procedures of a meeting? What or why would we meet? 1, as a proof of a meeting taking place and decisions arrived at. We are going for debating club meeting. What is there to show that we met? What is there to show that we reached at such and such a decision? 2, they provide a record that can be referred to by those unable to attend the meeting, and as a reminder to those who were present. Maybe somebody was not able to attend the meeting, maybe absent with apology, or perhaps absent without apology. For us to be able to make that person know what took place in a meeting, the minutes would help. 3, they hold members accountable for the decisions and commitments made during the meeting. Maybe in our class meeting we say, we are appointing Opondo as the class monitor. So we shall be held accountable because it is us who gave Opondo that particular responsibility. 4, they are legal documents which are admissible in a court of law. But in our villages or in our homes, we do hold meetings after somebody has died. In case we want to process a death certificate for that particular person who has passed on, a meeting after his death was held. Those minutes will be taken to the courts of law or to any office that works on the death certificates, so that one would be made. So we say these records can be taken in the court or to the courts of law. 5, we are saying minutes or minutes give a summary of main points discussed and the decisions reached. And we're also saying that as you take minutes, ensure you put down all important points and that you understand the solutions reached before recording. That is basically the purpose and the procedures of a meeting. or of writing the minutes. Now, we want to explain the structure, and the format of writing minutes of a meeting. Minutes are usually written informally. What do we mean when we say informally? Something informal. Written informally. It means you may not necessarily use official words. Why? Or we keep it like that, but we're saying written informally, shorthand, in order to keep pace with the proceedings and later rewritten as a final official draft. Okay? Final official draft. So what do we call as the final official draft? While the meeting is going on, you may not be able to write perfectly what each and everybody says, but to keep pace or to follow the proceedings, then you will use a shorthand. You will be having more of informal kind of language in it, so that you keep pace. And we are saying that immediately after the meeting has ended, if at all you happen to be the secretary, then you will go ahead and pen down these minutes properly or in the right manner. So we are also saying that when we are looking at the format and the structure, minutes should be written in a passive voice using formal language. Passive voice. Okay? I know we must have been told about the active and the passive voice. In our subsequent lessons, I know we shall be looking at the passive and active voice. That is on the other side of the grammar. And we are also saying that minutes should be or should also be written in the third person. In the third person. In the third person. I believe we know what a third person here. We've always said we have first person, second person, and third person. First person is where somebody may say me, somebody may say I. Okay, talking about yourself. In the third person, perhaps you are talking something about other persons or other people. That's why we've given some examples here. When we're writing in the third person, we can say, it was agreed that, or maybe members discussed, dash, or maybe you can say, unanimously, okay, meaning everybody concurred with that. Alright? That may be applicable when we're looking at perhaps any decision reached at. Now, in English language and in paper 1, functional writing, what matters a lot is the format. So want to see or want to look at the format of minute writing. What format would we use? Remember, with paper 1 English language, we look at 3 things. We look at the format, we look at the language, then we look at the content. And for this case, we want to look at the format that we use when we are writing our minutes. 1. The heading or the title should be there. The title must be shown, must be clearly indicated. What does the title contain for this case? We are saying 1. The title must show the name of the group meeting. Maybe in Namgongo Secondary and Vocational School, we held a debating club's meeting. We would say the name of the group meeting is Namgongo Secondary and Vocational School Debating Club. the name of the group meeting should be shown. 2. The time of the meeting. After this name, the time must be mentioned. What time did they meet? Was it at 11 o'clock? Was it at 10 o'clock? Or it was, okay, so the time should be indicated. 3. We are saying the date of the meeting. That day when the meeting took place. Was it on the 12th of November? Or the 10th of October? Okay, the date of the meeting should be indicated. And then 4, we are saying the venue where this meeting took place from. It could have been in the beautiful main hall of Namgungu Secondary and Vocational School. Let's have an example of a title. Because we have said that it must have the name of the group meeting, the time of the meeting, the date of the meeting, and the venue of that particular meeting. Let's have an example here. We are saying minutes of Namgungu High School end of term meeting held on 2nd November, 2021 in the school boardroom from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The name of the group meeting is Namgungu High School. The time of the meeting was at 9 a.m. And of course here, it started from 9 and was supposed to move up to 2 p.m. The date of the meeting, as shown on the title or in the title, happens to be 2nd November 2021. And where was this meeting held from? In other words, the venue. It was held in the school board room. So by the time you indicate the title, you must show those 4 particular items so that your title is clear. When we are writing minutes also, we must illustrate or clearly show the agenda. Sometimes question may be given and you find that in that question you have been given an agenda. But in some questions, you may be told to generate your own agenda. And allow me to use an agenda here that I personally generated with some of the few members right at school here. Agenda number 1, we had the opening prayer, or what one may just say, prayer. 2, or item 2, communication from the chair. 3, matters arising. And for this case, reaction to the chairperson's communication. And then 4, minutes of the previous meeting. We want to review the minutes of the previous meeting. Let's assume that we held the first meeting last time, and because we're coming for the second meeting, we want to review the minutes. Remember, we say we have a purpose as to why we write minutes. 5, we are saying matters arising. What exactly are we now picking up right in this meeting? And then 6, we are saying A or B. I believe we know that A or B means any other business. Before we then go to the closure, or what one may call the closing prayer, there we have come up with a clear agenda. Now, in any meeting, there must be a quorum. There must be a quorum that will determine if the meeting is to take place or no. And therefore, the attendance must be looked at. And here we are saying that when we are looking at the attendance, we look at the list of members. list of members. The list of members here, we look at them in different categories. But what would we say? Let's say a list of members present is given against their titles. First, maybe let's say Olokojo Francis, okay, was present. When we say against the title first, then we may be meaning that Olokojo here was the chairperson. A name against the title. 2, we're saying that list of members absent with apologies against their titles. Maybe one member holding a post was absent. We then need to indicate his title. 2. 3, a list of members absent against their titles. Okay, I think there's a repetition there. And then 4, we're saying, before mentioning the guests in attendance, any guest available is listed under the subtitle in attendance. Okay, we have members present, members absent with apologies, members absent without apologies. And then down we go to in attendance. Let's look at our attendance for an example here. We are saying members present. The very first present member here was Olokojo Francis and happens to be the chairperson. The second member present is Mubiru John, who happens to be the treasurer. Then we had other members, Kakwezi Amal, a member, Nanyo Judith, a member, Othieno Anthony, a member, Lubega Shafiq, a member, and then Walatira Boniface happens to be the secretary. What we see here now, the first person could or should be the chairperson. The last person always should be the secretary. Then we go to members absent with apology. Here we're not going to list very many of them unless maybe you are really writing the actual minutes in a meeting that you are holding. We are saying we only had 2 people here, Bushinja Monica and Okia Alfred. What about members absent with apology? Here too, we have not taken a long list, but we are saying we have one person who was not present, and that happens to be Lamono Sheila. And then in attendance, remember, this person may not necessarily be part of this. Maybe he or she could have been a guest. And for this case, in this sample, we are saying in attendance, we have Sizaman Wakoli. He was in attendance. Okay? So you will see that attendance has 3 parts. Present, absent with apology, absent with apology, and then in attendance. Okay? Yes. Now, how do we number items in the actual minutes? The actual minutes. How would we number the items? Remember, we are done with our title, we are done with our agenda, we are done with our attendance. How do we now write the actual minutes? Let's see, and let's say items in minutes are numbered as, and we're giving an example there where one can say min, of course standing for minutes, min 1 stroke, 1 stroke, 20, 21. Remember here, we are saying stroke. We are not saying know the difference, because we have to separate the date from the month and the year. And we are going ahead and say that where the word min stands for minute. Thank you very much. This is the first segment of our minute writing. I will welcome you back in the next segment as we conclude or as we complete on numbering items in minute writing. Thank you very much.